Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 317 based on novel. So let's start. This crisis is too dangerous. This old man would rather risk facing the first heaven's blight than be boiled alive here. The moment Master Void's origin soul flew out, he opened his arms, and his eyes revealed a decisive gaze. As his arms opened, outside the cave and outside the demon spirit land in the boundless space where the vermilion bird spirit was, 5 stars emitted an indescribable light. As this light shined, it diffused across the entire star system. As long as one was in the Alliance star system, one could see that 5 stars had appeared in the sky. Whether it was day or night, the light from the 5 stars could be seen everywhere. Then one of the stars shined brightly and covered up the remaining 4 stars. Then, when the light reached its peak, the star suddenly fell into the void. The old man from the brilliant void realm and the beautiful woman were moving through the stars. As they moved forward, the old man raised his head and calmly muttered, "Someone is experiencing their first heaven's blight." The most bright of the 5 stars fell. It was extremely fast, far faster than any cultivator. In an instant, the bright star passed the vermilion bird spirit, and a loud rumble echoed when it disappeared into a speck of dust. After piercing through the dust, it entered the demon spirit land and caused the devilish energy shrouding the demon spirit land to be pushed back. The star penetrated into the earth and charged through 6 floors of the Celestial Emperor cave before landing on Master Void's origin soul within the boiling ocean. At this instant Master Void's cultivation level increased like crazy, but he revealed a painful expression and began to scream. By borrowing the power of the first heaven's blight, Master Void unexpectedly broke through the devilish flames in the sky and charged up. His origin soul was rapidly dissipating under the light of the star. For a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, this was just the start of the first heaven's blight. Ancient Devil Tarjor was going to reach out toward Master Void, but his eyes lit up and he lowered his hand. He's experiencing his first heaven's blight while seriously injured. If he doesn't die, he could become one of my scattered devils. At this moment, Bei Lu, Wang Lin, and the dragon that was still trapped inside the boiling ocean had reached a critical moment. The Celestial Emperor's spell and the monstrous devilish flame had reached a frightening degree. The ocean level reduced rapidly and the temperature increased greatly. Even with Wang Lin's vermilion bird and ancient god body, he felt the pain from the heat. However, no matter how much he struggled, he couldn't charge out. The devilish flames had descended into the ocean, which caused this spell to reach a peak. Wang Lin's eyes became anxious. The intense heat entered his body, making him feel as if he was being cooked alive, and made his body limp. At this moment of crisis, Wang Lin revealed a bitter expression. He had rarely been wrong in his life, but he had to admit he had calculated wrong this time. If he had left with Hu Huan and Wang Wei, he wouldn't have been in such danger. However, even so, they still wouldn't have been able to escape from here. The terrifying ancient devil Tarjor would have eventually caught up and they would have still had to face him. No matter what, the ending was the same. Wang Lin had been through danger throughout his life, whether it was facing the blood ancestor, the Yao family's pursuit, or the land of the ancient god when he was at the core formation stage. None of those times had made Wang Lin yield, and he didn't want to yield now either. However, reality was cruel. However, all of this wasn't enough to make Wang Lin's Dao heart collapse or give up. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He still had the heaven-defying bead. He still had source origin. At this moment, the ocean had almost completely dissipated, leaving only the devilish flames. It seemed to want to burn all life within it to death. The fire dragon was weak, and its body continued to shrink. Even it couldn't withstand the devilish flames. Bei Lu's body was surrounded by monstrous demonic energy, but this was all futile. The mad laugh of the ancient devil echoed as he stared at the devilish flames. On his shoulder sat a small person. It was the origin soul of the man in black that had shrunken to sit there. A flame dragon circled the man in black. As he stared at the fire dragon, his eyes were filled with greed. This fire spirit dragon was refined by Qing Lin and is extremely loyal to Qing Lin. With its intelligence, it can obviously tell I'm not Qing Lin. Luhu, since you are the Supreme's disciple, I'll gift it to you to devour. Tajio's voice was calm as he grabbed the origin soul of the man in black and threw it forward. The origin soul turned into a dragon and greedily charged at the weakened fire dragon within the devilish flames. Many thanks, Lord Ancient Devil. The man in black sent out a message filled with joy and then charged at the fire dragon. However, at this moment, the fire dragon raised its head and revealed an unyielding arrogance. It let out a roar that turned into sonic booms that echoed in the devilish flames. It even caused the devilish flames to pause for a moment. The dragon formed by the man in black suddenly stopped and retreated, but the greed in his eyes increased. He was in no rush, and he believed that this fire dragon wouldn't last long under Ancient Devil Tajio's spell. With greed in his eyes, the man in black's origin soul looked at the struggling Wang Lin. His eyes revealed a strange light. His vermilion bird is also mine. Just at this instant, a scene that shocked the man in black occurred. He saw the fire dragon suddenly struggle to move its body. Its giant body shrank until it was only 100 feet long and charged at Wang Lin. Its dragon eyes revealed determination and an intent to die. It would rather die than let the man in black devour it. If it had to die, then it'd rather choose this person, because it could at least feel a hint of familiarity from this person. This scene was outside of the expectations of the man in black. The fire dragon was so fast that before the man in black could react, it was already near Wang Lin. The moment Wang Lin opened his eyes, the fire dragon let out its last roar and charged into the spot between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Endless fire origin energy entered Wang Lin's body and made its way into his origin soul. The vermilion bird tattoo that had weakened suddenly awakened as if new power had been injected into it and let out a vermilion bird cry. Although the fire origin energy inside the fire dragon was different from the fire of the vermilion bird, the source was still fire of the heavens. When the fire dragon rushed into Wang Lin, it caused the fire origin energy in his body to increase greatly. Moreover, the fusion of these two different types of flames caused an unexpected change. The vermilion bird moved within this storm and the shadow of a dragon. The storm reached a peak and unexpectedly even absorbed the devilish flames that were burning the world. As it absorbed like crazy, the storm formed a powerful vortex that had a terrifying suction force. This all happened in an instant, and even Ancient Devil Tajio was startled. The man in black was aghast at the situation. He no longer had any thought of devouring and wanted to retreat. However, he was too close, so the moment he tried to retreat, he was pulled in by the vortex. The ancient devil frowned as he raised his right hand and grabbed the man in black's origin soul. Just as he was about to withdraw his hand, ancient demon Bei Lu's eyes lit up. He had already given up, but he didn't think that such an unexpected mutation would occur after Wang Lin absorbed the fire dragon. He could clearly see that within the vortex, a white fire was condensing like crazy inside Wang Lin's body. Source origin fire seed. At this moment, even with his identity as an ancient demon, Bei Lu sucked in a breath of cold air. His desperation suddenly disappeared and he saw a chance to escape. Just a trace more and he will be able to completely condense that fire seed. Once that fire seed forms, he will be able to control all the flames in the world. Although there is a hint of will inside these flames, Tajio's possession isn't complete, so there is still a chance. Various thoughts flashed through Bei Lu's mind. Just as ancient devil Tajio was about to pull the man in black's origin soul back, Bei Lu clenched his teeth. The 7 stars in his right eye rotated rapidly and then one of them suddenly collapsed. Ancient demon shattered star. The collapse of an ancient demon star allowed a powerful surge of demonic energy to enter Bei Lu's body, allowing him to struggle. Although it was not enough for him to escape or charge out from the burning flames, it was enough for him to use spells. His right eye shined once more and another ancient demon star collapsed. With 2 stars shattered, ancient demon Bei Lu's body suddenly magnified, and he charged forward at the man in black's origin soul that was about to be saved by Tajio. Bei Lu's body turned into a whirlwind of demonic energy and smashed into Tajio's arm. There was a loud bang as ancient demon Bei Lu's body lost a lot of demonic energy, and he became even weaker. However, this made it so the man in black's origin soul was no longer in the ancient devil's grasp. Terrified, the man in black's origin soul was about to escape once more, but Wang Lin's right hand reached out from the vortex and grabbed him. He was about to resist, but endless flames came from Wang Lin and wrapped around him. Then Wang Lin dragged his origin soul into the vortex. Inside the vortex, killing intent appeared in Wang Lin's eyes, and he devoured the man in black's origin soul without hesitation. The moment Wang Lin devoured the man in black's origin soul, an explosion occurred in his body. Absorbing the fire dragon, devouring the man in black's flame dragon, and his own vermilion bird meant that 3 types of flames were inside Wang Lin's body. The fire origin energy in his body reached a new height, and as the heat increased, a fire seed the size of a fingernail was formed in his dantian. The moment the fire seed appeared, all of the devilish flames in the 7th floor paused for a moment and unexpectedly charged at the vortex Wang Lin was in. It was very fast, and in an instant, almost all of it went into the vortex. Devilish flames, fire dragon, and flame dragon, these 3 kinds of fire energy fused with the vermilion bird. The vermilion bird was the main energy and the other 3 were secondary when the mutation of flames occurred. However, this wasn't important. After this great fortune, Wang Lin's vermilion bird unexpectedly showed signs of a second awakening. In the vermilion bird divine sect, the number of awakenings determined the peak of one's cultivation level, and this was key for them to become the vermilion bird divine emperor. In the long history of the vermilion bird divine sect, if multiple people had one awakening, then they would fight it out. The winner would become the divine emperor and the losers would become elders. However, if there was a person among them who had achieved a second awakening, there was no need to fight. The vermilion bird divine emperor would definitely be this person. As for the third awakening, it had never happened in the long history of the vermilion bird divine sect. Right now, the vortex around Wang Lin became monstrous, as if it could support the world. As it continued to absorb, a firestorm came out from the vortex and an indescribable firestorm charged out from the volcano. Cracking sounds came from the mouth of the volcano when the firestorm erupted, then countless pieces of rock fell and the volcano collapsed completely. As it collapsed, the huge firestorm charged up into the sky, and the intense heat collided with the sky. This caused a hole to punch right through from the 7th floor to the 6th floor. The 6th floor immediately appeared before everyone. The girl in pink and the beautiful woman were in the 6th floor. Both were in the main hall when they felt the ground take. To their horror, they saw the ground collapse, and all the buildings and the countless restrictions inside all shattered. This looked like the end of the world. However, the firestorm didn't stop, it continued to charge up. In the blink of an eye, it pierced through the 5th floor, and the entire 5th floor collapsed. Wang Wei, who had just woken up, and Hu Huan didn't hesitate and immediately rushed out. This firestorm continued traveling upwards after breaking through to the 5th floor. The 4th floor collapsed. Sichu Nan stared dumbfoundedly at all of this and gasped. Without hesitation, he moved with the flames. The 3rd floor collapsed. The 2nd floor collapsed. The monstrous storm reached the 1st floor before it finally stopped, but it didn't dissipate. However, the fire rapidly contracted and the endless firestorm disappeared into a figure deep within the cave. There were no flames in his eyes, but his body was surrounded by an invisible fire. If one looked closely, they would find that the space around Wang Lin seemed to distort, and your vision was blocked. His hair had completely changed. A head of white hair flowed as Wang Lin let out a big breath and clenched his fist. Behind him, a vermilion bird appeared. It was no longer red, but white. This kind of white was similar to snow, but anyone who saw the vermilion bird would feel the unimaginable heat within. The white vermilion bird circled Wang Lin. It was extremely proud, as if all other creatures in the world were below it. As it circled Wang Lin, it let out a vermilion bird cry that could penetrate the heavens. The vermilion bird's second awakening. At this instant, the entire world trembled. Master Void was hiding in the corner of the 4th floor, struggling to survive through his first heaven's blight. Once I succeed, not only will my injuries recover, but my cultivation level will increase dozens-fold. When that happens, killing that Wang Lin will be like crushing an ant. While was struggling, the cry of the vermilion bird's second awakening entered his ears. After being startled for a moment, Master Void was filled with disbelief. If it was the first awakening, he could accept it, but he would have never thought that a second awakening was possible. He clearly knew what the second awakening meant, and he knew that the difference between the first and second awakenings was like the difference between heaven and earth. If the first awakening could make the entire Vermilion Bird Divine Sect protect him, then the second awakening was enough to make the entire Vermilion Bird Divine Sect crazy. It could no longer be described as using their full power to protect him, now it would be to protect him no matter the cost. If it was just one awakening, although the Alliance would still have to kill Wang Lin, they wouldn't be shocked. However, if the Vermilion Bird went through a second awakening, even they would be shocked. Moreover, Master Void knew that the time between these two things happening was so short, it was negligible. Thinking about how the person he wanted to kill, the one that caused him to end up in such a state, had awakened twice, Master Void, who was enduring his first Heaven's Blight, coughed out a mouthful of Essence Origin energy. His mind became confused and all the Origin energy in his body went crazy. The initial sign of failure of his first Heaven's Blight appeared. The first Heaven's Blight was unpredictable, and often just the slightest fluctuation in one's mind was enough to make one fail. And once you failed, the result was death. The moment the Vermilion Bird went through the second awakening, the Vermilion Bird spirit outside the demon spirit land let out the same cry. At this moment, the eyes of all the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect members widened. The 6 Nirvana Shatter elders all sucked in breaths of cold air. Second awakening. He unexpectedly started the second awaken after such a short period of time. The hope of my Vermilion Bird Divine Sect will arrive. If this person is safe, my Vermilion Bird Sect will rise once more. Deep in the burning starfield where Vermilion Bird Divine Sect was located, there was a white stone. This was where the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor that had survived for countless years Saturday. At this moment, he suddenly opened his eyes, and they shined like they never before. Second awakening, his breath became unstable. After pondering for a bit, he unexpectedly tried to get up, but in the end, his old body was unsuccessful. I don't have much time left. Giving up a bit of my remaining time for this clan member who has awakened a second time is worth it. The old man let out a sigh and closed his eyes. Just as his eyes closed, an unimaginable force of fire charged out of his body. It was so powerful that even the burning starfield trembled. It was as if the entire starfield was going to collapse, and popping sounds echoed across the starfield. Then an origin soul slowly floated away from this old man. The origin soul didn't look old, it was that of a middle-aged man. He lowered his head and looked at his body, and his eyes revealed an ancient gaze. It has been a long time since my origin soul has left my body. He shook his head and took a step. A vortex appeared in the sea of flames before him. He stepped into the vortex and then disappeared. As for inside the Celestia Emperor Cave, on the 7th floor, Tarjo looked at the firestorm, and his eyes revealed a serious expression for the first time. He didn't care about the Vermilion Bird's second awakening, but he felt an unexplainable terrifying aura from this ancient god. The royal bloodline ancient god and the Vermilion Bird divine beast. They have unexpectedly fused. But that isn't important. Just as I was about to attack to stop him, I unexpectedly felt unease. What else does he have? And at this moment, ancient demon Bei Lu borrowed the moment Wang Lin's second awaken occurred to escape along with the firestorm. He no longer wanted to fight against the ancient devil and was focused on escaping. I need to get out of here and quickly reach the outer realm. I can't fight Tarjio. Bei Lu felt very bitter. He had lost too much this time. Half of his ancient demon spirit body was devoured, and in order to escape just now, he had shattered 2 stars. He moved like lightning as he charged straight up. Ancient devil Tarjio's eyes lit up. The person he absolutely couldn't let go was this ancient demon. He simply ignored Wang Lin and chased after the ancient demon. The more time passed, the better control he had of this body. His speed was now several times faster than before, so he instantly closed the distance between himself and ancient demon Bei Lu. Bei Lu clenched his teeth and moved, but Tarjio was even faster. Seeing that he couldn't escape, Bei Lu clenched his teeth and a third ancient demon star collapsed. Borrowing the force of the star's collapse, Beilu charged into the 6th floor and immediately locked onto the 2 escaping women. His body flickered and closed in on the 2 women. His demonic claw reached out toward the girl in pink. The girl in pink's face became pale without blood, but she didn't panic. The moment the ancient demon's claw closed in, the snowflake mark between her eyebrows shined. There was a loud whistling sound and then a snowstorm appeared before the girl in pink. The moment the ancient demon's right hand reached over, it collided with the snowstorm, and the claw was knocked back. The girl in pink coughed out blood all over the snowstorm and then was thrown backwards. The ancient demon was surprised, but he didn't hesitate. His right hand swept by and grabbed the beautiful middle-aged woman's head. Thanks to the ancient demon's cultivation level and spell, the injured beautiful middle-aged woman who had just recovered couldn't resist at all. Demonic energy surged into her body and completely sealed all her meridians. At this moment, ancient devil Tarjio arrived. Beilu didn't have time to think. As he held the beautiful woman, a demonic glow appeared in his eyes. Then his left hand formed a seal and he pointed at her body. Every time he pointed, a strand of demonic energy entered her body. In the blink of an eye, the beautiful woman's body trembled, and the blood vessels in her body crossed, forming a large, strange rune. The moment ancient devil Tarjio closed in, ancient demon Beilu threw the beautiful woman, then his eyes lit up and he shouted, "Demon spirit transformation." After he spoke, all the blood vessels in her body exploded, her body turned into a blood mist, and she died. However, a rune appeared in her collapsed body and quickly absorbed her flesh. It even spare her shattered origin soul. After absorbing everything, the rune released a demonic glow and flew toward the 5th floor. After the ancient demon did all of this, he felt as if he had consumed a lot of demonic energy, and the 4 remaining stars in his right eye were dim. However, he no longer tried to run. Instead, he turned around and he stared at ancient devil Tarjio with madness in his eyes. "Forget it. I'll try to buy more time so the demon spirit can escape." Demon spirit transformation was the ancient demon's life-saving spell, and they wouldn't use it unless they had no choice. This spell had one great weakness, which was that they had to use a member of the opposite sex as a furnace for it to succeed. And even if it succeeded, one would lose most of their cultivation and just become a broken spirit. Beilu had been forced to the brink, and he only used this spell because he saw the 2 women. At this moment, madness appeared in his eyes, and the ancient demon stars in his right eye rotated rapidly and then collapsed. 1, 2, 3, 4 ancient demon stars shined brightly and all collapsed. The collapse of the 4 ancient demon stars caused Beilu's body to grow like crazy, and the madness in his eyes became even stronger. He let out a ferocious roar. "Tarjio, even if I can't kill you, I'll make it so your possession will never truly succeed. This is all because you forced me." Ancient demon Beilu charged out while letting out a roar. Then his body flickered and turned from 1 to 2, then to 4, then to 8. In the blink of an eye, the entire world was filled with ancient demon Beilu's figure. When he got near ancient devil Tarjio, a thunderous rumble echoed. He had chosen to self-destruct. He died just to hurt Tarjio. The thunderous rumble echoed across the sky. All the avatars of the ancient demon collapsed, forming a destructive shockwave that spread across the 5th floor. The entire 7th floor immediately collapsed. The girl in pink revealed anger, but she didn't have time to think. The moment the ancient demon charged at the ancient devil and exploded, she immediately rushed toward the 6th floor. However, before she could get far, she felt the unimaginable impact behind her. As for Wang Lin, he was at the 1st floor of the cave, and the vermilion bird cry echoed behind him. An invisible fire surrounded him as he looked down at the tunnel that pierced through the entire Celestial Emperor cave. His hands were moving and countless restrictions were appearing. The restrictions continued to land on the pit, and each restriction caused a large amount of rocks to fall. Wang Wei and Hu Huan came out, and the moment they saw Wang Lin, they understood his intention. They didn't hesitate and began launching spells at the ground as well. This earth began to tremble as if the entire demon spirit land was being affected. At this moment, it was as if earthquakes were occurring across the demon spirit land. Sichu Nan charged out from the deep pit and cursed non-stop. "Damn it, What is this damn place? After I leave here and get rid of this poison, I'll have to enter closed-door cultivation. After Situ Nan charged out and saw Wang Lin, he gasped, but he immediately knew Wang Lin's plan. Without hesitation, he flew into the air and began bombarding the ground with spells. The ground began to tremble even more violently. It felt like the entire Celestial Emperor cave was going to collapse. At this moment, the people hiding inside the second floor all flew out. Among them were Big Head, the three Chen brothers, Lei Ji, the beautiful middle-aged woman's two disciples, and even Master Hollow Wind. After these people charged out, when they saw Wang Lin, they were terrified and quickly scattered. Master Hollow Wind seemed to have guessed Wang Lin's intention, but he didn't understand. After all, he hadn't experienced the horror of the ancient devil, none of them even knew the ancient devil existed. Just as the trembling became even more violent, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. Then his hands formed a seal and he suddenly pointed at the ground while letting out a roar. The huge vermilion bird behind him let out a cry and rushed into the pit. The endless flames suddenly surrounded the vermilion bird and charged straight into the pit. At this moment, Wang Wei's eyes were bloodshot, and his hand formed a seal and a monstrous sea appeared. The sea charged into the pit right after the vermilion bird. Hu Huan and Situ Nan also used their most powerful spells that followed the vermilion bird down into the pit. Just at this instant, waves of cold energy came from the pit. It was the girl in pink with countless snowflakes around her, and she was struggling to get out. As the various spells descended, the snowflakes rapidly rotated and she barely made it out through all the danger. The vermilion bird landed into the pit that penetrated the entire Celestial Emperor cave. A loud rumble came from the second floor, and when the rest of the spells landed, the Celestial Emperor cave began to truly collapse. The endless rumbles filled the sky, and as they echoed, the ground sunk in, sealing off the exit. It was also shrouded within everyone's spells. Muffled sounds came from below, and there were roars of the ancient devil. After using the spells, Wang Lin's hands continued to move, and countless restrictions landed. Hu Huan didn't stop either, she and Wang Wei also placed restrictions. The three of them were extremely fast, so a large amount of restrictions fell on the collapsed ruin. The dense restrictions landed as if they were forming a large net. At this moment, muffled roars came out, and they were even more crazy than before. As the roars echoed, the earth trembled even more violently. It was as if a force wanted to rush out, as if a person wanted to break out from inside and slaughter all life. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators that didn't know about the ancient devil changed. Master Hollow Wind could clearly feel the endless fierce energy coming from below, which made him tremble. He didn't hesitate and quickly placed the restrictions he knew. Everyone else who knew restrictions all sent out restrictions in an attempt to help. The roars from the ground came closer and closer, and the vibrations became stronger and stronger, causing the rocks that buried the hole to begin to collapse. Not enough time. Wang Lin clenched his teeth as he slapped his bag of holding and took out Qing Shuang's body. He had no time to worry about Wang Wei or Hu Huan's feelings. His right hand hit the back of Qing Shuang. This wasn't to hurt her, but to force out all the blood he could from her body without her dissipating. When his palm landed, Qing Shuang immediately coughed out a large amount of blood. The moment the blood appeared, Wang Lin took it and turned it into blood mist that covered the ground. Origin energy continued to surge out from his hand, and Qing Shuang continued to cough out blood. Wang Lin scattered blood on all the restrictions here. Just at this instant, a shocking rumbling sound came from underground. Then a monstrous surge of devilish energy shattered all the rocks that were blocking the way. An ancient devil Tar Jio slowly flew upward. However, the devilish energy that rushed up dissipated like melting snow the moment it touched the restrictions. The strange part was that there were 4 people behind ancient devil Tar Jio. The All-Seer, Ling Qianhu, Master Void, and the strange humanoid thing from the collapsed celestial burial pool. The human-like thing looked very gentle and calm as it floated next to Tar Jio. It was as if Tar Jio was its owner. The moment Wang Lin saw this, it was like a bolt of lightning had struck him. Before, he didn't link it with the ancient devil, but after seeing this, he had a guess. This video will end here.